Hi guys, this is Paige. I wanted to make this video about why we are here and why we exist. Before I came to God, I started researching that. I was like, why do I exist and why am I here? I believe in the soul of every single human being that question is there deep down. Why have I been created? Why do I exist? True born-again Christianity is more than being saved from hell. Now that is a big part of Christianity. That is amazing. Jesus saves us from hell, But it is literally finding the meaning of life. It is finding out why you exist and why you were created and meeting the one who created you. If you found Jesus Christ and you have him, you found the meaning to life. That is the meaning to life. And like I was saying in my last video, you were made to glorify him and please him, right? But to get even deeper into that, there is a purpose for you in life. God has given you work to do. Now, I can't tell you what that work is, okay? You have to go to him and ask him why and sit in his presence and let him flow into you and show you why, okay? But in general, it's you were created to glorify him. Christianity is more than doing the bare minimum for God so that you won't go to hell. It's literally realizing that you are his vessel of glory and glorifying him and finding your purpose. Now, I'm not going to say that there's days where we won't do the bare minimum, okay? But if you truly come to that understanding that you are his vessel of glory and that that is what you are created to do and you live in that, you will be extremely rewarded in heaven. You will be extremely rewarded. When you are alone and there is no one around, like no humans around, and you are glorifying God, you are glorifying him in front of his enemy, the devil. And God will use you to glorify himself in front of his enemy. And he'll use you to glorify himself in front of people too. Don't get me wrong, when we're doing it in front of people, we're glorifying him in front of his enemy too. But isn't that an honor? It is so honorable. It's an honor. This is why you were created. This is the reason for your life. The reason. Okay? Now, in the Bible, I just want to share some of these verses. This is Acts 5:40. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Jesus and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. The apostles, when they were beaten, they rejoiced that they were worthy to suffer for him. Of course, Jesus Christ has suffered for us, and that helps you when you're suffering, of course. But if you come to that understanding that if you suffer for him and that's glorifying him and that's why you were made, it will fulfill you This is the ultimate fulfillment in life. And God will be glorified in front of his enemies. And isn't it amazing that he will use us to do it? Do you know that if you're born again, you're God's child, you're not like other people? You're special. You're special. You're so special. I'm gonna read these verses. This is in Hebrews. Hebrews 12:5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? And if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. I'm going to skip over 9. For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. What does this mean? If you're God's child, he will discipline you. The Lord, who the Lord loves, he chastens. And every single one of his children whom he receives, he scourges. It's like he whips you into shape. That's kind of what it means, And you would think these verses, the chastening thing, the discipline thing, that means, if you sin, he'll chasten you, and that does mean that. But this is not even just for sin. This is in general. This is in general. Okay? God gave Paul a thorn in his flesh, a messenger of Satan to buffet him, because God showed Paul so many amazing things and he didn't want Paul to get proud, right? And it never says anything like he sinned and then he got the thorn. God just gave him the thorn. And then Paul said to God, remove this from me. He asked him 3 times to remove it. And God was like, no, I'm not removing it. Because he knew it was best for him to have it. Now, what is that thorn in general? What is that? That is God's discipline. That's God's discipline on him. Throughout my walk with God, I have been through intense tribulations and things I've had to go through. And this last one, when God gave me that thorn, I went insane. I couldn't handle it. I was like, God, I suffered so much and I been through so much and I can't believe this, that you're doing this. And I would look at people, I'm friends with Facebook with some of the people I went to school with when I was younger. And some of them have things that I would like to have, that I would have liked to have. And some of them just seemed fine and all this stuff. And I was like, God, this is so unfair. And that's probably sin, because that's probably envy, but that's how I felt. And I had told some of them about Jesus, and at least one of them thinks I'm crazy. And I was like, this is so unfair, what I'm going through here. And the video's cutting off. I'm going to